Let me preface this by saying that I, 38 male, struggled with a drinking issue for 3 years. It was the most difficult period of my life. However, I'm now 3 years sober and doing so much better with my life. I married my wife last year and have a stepson, teen, Jake. Jake and I aren't close, but we have a cordial relationship. His dad's in the picture, so it's pretty clear he never sees me as a dad. Jake has done several things in the past that caused us to fight, like getting in trouble and making me pay for damages, or damaging my own things and having me pay for them. He also constantly mocks my sobriety every chance he gets. Some issues got worked out with time, but the mocking is still there. I told my new wife how this makes me feel, but got nowhere. Father's Day came, and my wife's family came over to celebrate with us. We had dinner, and then Jake surprised me with a gift, saying it was for me for Father's Day, which I thought was sweet, completely out of character for him to get me anything. However, from the way he was smug and smiling, I just didn't feel comfortable. Anyway, I opened it, and behold, there was a flask and a glass. Frankly, I felt like he just made fun of or mocked one of my life's biggest, most difficult struggles. I froze. I didn't know what to say or how to act, since everyone was watching me. Jake was giggling hard, and that's when I got angry. I put everything back, then grabbed the box and told him, "This doesn't belong in my house." Then I opened the door, walked up to the trash can, and threw the entire thing in there. My wife, her mom, and my stepson were at the door watching. Jake went downstairs, and my wife started arguing with me about what I did. We got into an argument, and her parents left. My wife got more upset, saying how I reacted was childish, and that Jake was just teasing me, and I should loosen up and stop being dramatic. I refused to get engaged any further, and now there's just so much tension in the house and silence from my in-laws. Am I the idiot for how I handled it? Not the idiot. Your stepson knew what he was doing, and you weren't being dramatic. Giving a recovering alcoholic such a gift is not only a horrible thing to do, but it can reintroduce the temptation. I think you reacted just fine, but your stepson is an idiot. Congrats on your 3 years sober. Considering the absolute audacity the stepson showed, you were relatively calm. Stepson is an idiot, and so is your wife for allowing him to be an idiot. Unfortunately, she's enabling him to become a mean-spirited and crappy person. Some things are not to be joked about. Completely agree, and as a teenager, he's old enough to know what he's doing. His behavior was unacceptable, and it appears that his family is enabling him to continue in this vein and allowing it as some trade-off for him to cease other behaviors. This is how some hurtful adults start out. I would be mortified if one of the children I raised did something like this. It sounds like OP's wife doesn't appreciate what OP's going through with her son's behavior, nor the struggle to keep sober. Also, someone had to buy him that thing. He can't purchase it himself. So I'm betting either his father or OP's wife bought the alcohol for the stepson. And OP, I would really find out which if I were you, because if it was your wife, I would rethink the marriage. That is deeply concerning if she genuinely thinks her son's gift was an appropriate joke and not a mean, nasty prank. If they thought it was a joke, they wouldn't be offended if OP put it in the trash. That's what joke gifts are for. Joke marriage should also go in the trash. My daughter, teen, Megan, just finished her cancer treatment. She's lost her hair in the process, and she's been incredibly insecure because of it. She no longer meets friends, welcomes them at our home, or even meets family in person. It's been bad to say the least, but her stepbrother, 18, Ben, has been making it worse with his nagging comments and jokes about her looks. He tried covertly taking and posting pictures of her to share, but I shut that down even though my husband thought it was just harmless teasing. My husband's sister's wedding was last week. The family wanted Megan to go, but she didn't want to. I spent so much time trying to help her and convince her to start socializing again and see family. Finally, she agreed under the condition that I let her wear a wig, to which I agreed. Not only that, but I took her shopping to pick her own wig, and she looked beautifully stunning in the pixie hairstyle wig. My husband and Ben laughed when they saw it. I don't know why. We went to the wedding and everything was going well till this happened. We were sitting and we started talking about Megan's look. Suddenly, Ben reached out, pulled her wig, and exposed her head. I was shocked. I froze, but Megan yelled, then took her wig and ran. Ben, his cousins, and some guests started laughing. I was upset, especially when I looked over my shoulder and saw my husband sitting beside his mom and laughing. I lost it on Ben and scolded him in front of everyone, then took my stuff, got Megan, and got into the car and went home. Ben and my husband didn't have a ride home, and my husband kept calling me, but I didn't respond. He came home asking about me leaving mid-wedding and upsetting his sister, and then leaving him and Ben with no ride home. I argued with him about how Ben embarrassed Megan and humiliated her publicly, which must have ruined what's left of her self-esteem. He said that it was just kids teasing each other and that I overreacted, and Ben had no malicious intent. He was just messing with her. I said I was sick of it, but he said that this was their way of bonding as step-siblings, and I was getting in the way of it and being overprotective and unreasonable. We didn't talk after that. Ben refused to apologize, and his dad backed him up. You are the idiot if you stay married to this man. I would be kicking him and his moron son to the curb. Who the heck makes fun of a cancer patient? Better yet, who lets someone make fun of a cancer patient? Why are you staying with this man? I agree. Who laughs at a cancer patient, especially a child cancer patient? They both know she's struggling with self-image because of how the treatment makes her look. Plus the emotional and mental health toll that being diagnosed with cancer, treatable or not, has on a person. Your husband should not be backing a bully tormenting your daughter, OP. The son, father, and his relatives were all laughing. OP, you might have been conned into marrying into a completely toxic family. Are you sure your husband didn't tell his son to do it or egg him on to make his daughter the butt of a joke for his family? They are a cruel family, and I'm sorry your daughter's suffering due to you not wanting to see the truth until this event. You are the idiot. Agreed, OP. I know we have a crusade about divorcing horrible partners, but in this case, it's not a bad idea to do that. Your own partner thinks it's sibling bonding to embarrass a cancer patient publicly. That's bullying, and he's endorsing it. I'm happy you took your daughter and left, but leave this toxic marriage too, because I don't see your daughter recovering if she has to stay around such toxic men. And maybe if she wants to, have your daughter go to therapy too. With that and your support, maybe her self-confidence will flourish. I, 25 female, have pretty significant scarring on both my arms and legs. The scars are over a decade old but didn't fade well. I'm pretty used to covering them up for work and other situations, but I've gotten to a point where I no longer feel ashamed when wearing clothes that show them. This has taken a lot of work on my end, and I'm well aware that not everybody knows how to react in a way that isn't hurtful, and that's okay. I can manage. My boyfriend of 10 months invited me to go with him to his family's pool party/cookout. I've met his parents a few times before, and they have seen some of the scars and didn't say anything. However, his other siblings and their families, who I had not met before, were going to be there. I still looked forward to meeting everyone because his parents are lovely. At the party, I wore shorts and a modest tank top, considering that it was well over 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Celsius outside, and wearing more clothes than anyone in a swimsuit. I mostly kept to myself and talked to my boyfriend's mom while he played with his nieces and nephews. He doesn't see them very much. After a while, his mom went inside and his sister approached me. After a couple of minutes of conversation, of her asking about the scars, yes, she led with that. She told me that she doesn't want her kids, tween female and younger male, to see all that, talking about my scars, because they're quite young. She asked me if I had brought a jacket or something to cover up with, and I told her that I didn't because of how hot it was. She offered to let me borrow a shirt from her parents, and I said that I'd rather leave if I'm offending everyone. She huffed and signaled my boyfriend to come over and asked him the same thing, if he had something that I could wear to cover up with. He said that I was fine and said that she was being ridiculous. She said that she and her kids would leave if that were the case, which attracted their dad's attention, who, after hearing both sides, told them to let it go. The whole thing was embarrassing, and his sister was passive-aggressive to my boyfriend and me for the remainder of our time there. We ended up leaving early, and I asked him to drop me off at my place, even though we had plans to watch a movie together at his apartment. He apologized for his sister and said that she was a witch for what she said. But honestly, I'm not sure if I was right for digging my heels in, but it was just very hot outside and I'm already feeling overheated. So I would have been miserable if I had put on a jacket or another shirt. But this was the first time that I was meeting a lot of people there. Am I the idiot? My father had one arm. One of my cousins asked him where his other arm was. Dad said he left it at home. Adults laughed. Kids believed it. No big deal. You're not the idiot, OP. If her kids asked about your scars, she could have said lots of people get scars, but it's not polite to talk about other people's bodies. But of course she wouldn't know to do that because she has no idea how to follow that rule and effectively parent her children. You did nothing wrong. She should be ashamed of herself. The only one who doesn't want to see all that is the sister. Even the father didn't side with her. Also, kids don't care. They're scars. It's not like you have tattoos of demons burning Bibles and eating babies, and they're deeply religious or something. Not only was she being very rude to you, but she was also doing a disservice to her children. That could have been a teachable moment for her children, but no. She was projecting her own discomfort onto her kids and using them as a handy excuse. Screw her. Glad your boyfriend had your back, OP. Keep him. He stood up to his sister for you and didn't try to keep the peace by appeasing his sister's ridiculous demand. All my friends have different policies as a designated driver. Some don't drink at all. Some have a couple of drinks early but then stop, so they're sobered up by the time we leave. Everyone is responsible and we all trust each other. Last night was my night, and my buddy brought his new girlfriend to meet everyone. I picked them up along with everyone else and drove us all to the bar. If I drink on my driving night, I usually order my drink really early, so I know it'll be done by the time we're halfway done with the night and completely out of my system by the time I start driving. Technically, I can get behind the wheel right after drinking a beer and be under the legal limit in my weight class, but the timing buffer makes me more comfortable. I ordered my drink and then walked back over to the group. When the new girlfriend saw me, she asked what I was drinking and I told her. She got upset and asked how we were all going to get home. I assured her it would be out of my system by the time we left. She was still upset and asked me not to drink it. I already paid for it, so I just shrugged and apologized. She stormed out. My friend followed her, and they wound up leaving in an Uber. My friends all reassured me, but the rest of the night felt awkward. Am I the idiot? Should I have given my drink to someone else to make her more comfortable? I texted my friend to ensure we were cool, but he hasn't answered. Not the idiot. Having been in a situation where I watched my designated driver get progressively intoxicated all night, I get why she was spooked. She doesn't know you well enough to trust you're not going to keep drinking. I think you should clarify with everyone when you agree to drive that you plan to have one drink. But people calling you an intoxicated driver for having one drink and driving a few hours later are ridiculous. Even Dare wasn't that dramatic. You are the idiot. If I'm the designated driver, I don't drink anything with alcohol. It's not that I couldn't have one drink and be okay to drive, but to me it's just part of the job I agreed to do. This is not about how unaffected your driving skills are or how your friends are okay with it based on years of experience and trust. As the designated driver, you ensure a safe way home for everyone, which you compromised by drinking and asking someone who only just met you to trust your instincts. Update. My friend finally texted me back. He said he was sorry for dropping off the earth, just dealing with stuff. My poor friend, he was so sad. But yeah, so when they left the bar, they started fighting. She was mad that he never mentioned most of our group, like 2/3 are women, but we're all teachers, so it feels like she should have known that. She asked why he spends every weekend going to bars, drinking with a bunch of floozies. They started getting loud, so he ordered the Uber. Then they went back to his and fought some more, and then she broke up with him and left. Apparently, she called our whole group a bunch of names. I feel bad about his girlfriend, but he said it's probably for the best. I think he can do better personally. I'm a working, sole income earner for the time being, mother of 2. My husband has been struggling to find a job for 16 months. I don't know what's up with that. and so I've been paying for everything. As you know, it's summertime, and the kids want to go to the beach every weekend, but I'm busy working most of the time, and my husband won't bother to take them unless he uses my car, which is a no because I need it for work. Anyway, I put money towards renovating and upgrading our old pool so the kids could use it. Once the pool was ready, my husband started inviting his friends over and using it for hours. They'd basically take over, preventing the kids from enjoying it. They complained about being denied the pool several times, which caused them to get upset. So I talked to my husband about it and told him to limit his friends' usage of the pool. He flipped out at me, saying it's his house and water too, and I can't control what he does and who he brings. I got mad and in return, told him that tomorrow, the kids get the pool or else I'd ban his friends from it completely. He side-eyed me and said, "Fine, they can have the pool tomorrow." Well, next day, my daughter called me crying, saying Dad brought his friends over and refused to let her and her brother play in the pool. I was livid. I literally left work right then and went home. I saw him and his friends in the pool messing around. I just screamed my head off at them, telling them to get out. My husband tried to get involved, but I told him off and had all of his friends leave. He blew up at me for acting like a lunatic and said that I was controlling and shameless. I said I'd already told him to let the kids play in the pool, yet he ignored my request. He yelled at me saying just because I paid to fix the pool doesn't mean I own it. He went back inside and started calling his friends one by one to apologize on my behalf, since he said I was too shameless to do it myself. Afterward, he left the house and hasn't been back yet. Edit. I paid for the pool to get renovated and upgraded. He and his friends are always there using it, giving me and the kids zero chance to spend some time in it. He and his friends trash the pool every single time, dropping food and drinks, and I end up having to clean it up. He then left the house and hasn't been back yet. Good, good. Change the locks and let him crash with his loser friends. They can support him. Not the idiot. I get that you have children with this man, but he's not contributing financially, emotionally, or supportively. Why are you keeping him around? I know people stay together for the kids, but he's making his kids miserable, treating them and you like crap, and treating his kids like they're inconveniences and burdens. You don't want to put that on them. Yeah, I'd be looking at divorce lawyers over this. 16 months unemployed, trashing the home with his buddies, being an idiot to children, and turning it all into a blowout power struggle with his wife when she objects. What, if anything, does this man bring to a marriage that would make this relationship worth saving? It's hard to apply for jobs from a pool. Just saying. Why are the kids not allowed to swim when his friends are? Why won't he take the kids out to do anything? So he's not working and not taking care of the kids. Does he at least do all the housework? Something tells me that OP does 100% of the childcare and 100% of the chores, on top of paying 100% of the bills. He's not looking for a job. He knows what he's doing. He contributed nothing to the pool and is spending OP's money to buy things to trash their pool with. Dad of the year. He's not a spouse. He's her third kid.